So, hi everyone. Welcome to our day one training session of our weekend Oracle GoldenGate 23ai. This is first ever weekend 23ai batch, live instructor led training. My name is Ashish Agarwal, and I'll be delivering this lecture to you. So before commencing the session, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ashish Agarwal _GG. So if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share, and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Oracle GoldenGate related videos. You can also visit my website, which is ectrancotech.com if you haven't visited. So just for those who are thinking what does this URL stands for, so ectranco means Agarwal Training and Consulting. So based on that, its URL has been designed. So currently, I have like today or in next few days, if you're trying to reach the website, you may see SSL issue. I'm working on it. My team is working on it to get it resolved. So just click on advance and proceed to the website. It is secured, guys. It's just that certificate has expired yesterday, and since yesterday I didn't get much time, I have already forwarded it to the respective team to get it resolved. So you should be able to see it resolved sooner or later. But the website is secured and you can reach it anytime. There are blogs, course details, everything is available in query if you want to make any. Everything is available. So let us start. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI, we are going
Hey,
to
hey, Ashish,
start.
just
So
one
Oracle
sec.
GoldenGate 23 AI is GoldenGate integration with artificial intelligence. Okay, so Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI. So basically, what Oracle attempt is to integrate artificial intelligence in Oracle GoldenGate, basically. Okay, so GoldenGate is a product which is there in the market since 2000, since 1995, and 2009 Oracle overtook it. Since then, it is known as Oracle GoldenGate. Right. So from 2000 until to until 2009. So basically, it was a standalone company. It wasn't Oracle GoldenGate. In 2009, Oracle overtook it, and since then, it is known as Oracle GoldenGate. Now, GoldenGate has evolved in different stages. Now, this 23 AI version is the latest version in GoldenGate, and what Oracle is trying to do is it is trying to integrate AI within Oracle GoldenGate product. See, ultimately we all have to accept AI is future. Today in today's world, nowadays, you won't believe like we are not using AI at all. Like we think that we put in chat GPT few things and it gives us answer. No, that's what Google also used to do. And that is not what the whole purpose of AI. This is just the introduction of AI. However, AI has different capabilities, different like whole world of AI is different. And I highly recommend all of you who has joined the session as well or who are watching the recorded session. Please try to embrace AI. Try to integrate AI tools in your daily life, not because you have to use it, because so that you can stay in present with the ongoing trends. Ultimately, you all will have to embrace the AI. So that's why I highly recommend that if you have to learn tomorrow, why not today? That's my that's what I believe in, right? And I would highly recommend you also doing it. That will help. Okay. So on that note, let us start the session. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI. So before I start, just an introduction about me. Hi everyone. So for those who know me, it's okay. But for those who don't know me, so I am an expert in Oracle GoldenGate and Oracle database. And I have 18 plus years of experience, training experience in GoldenGate. So I started my first training batch in Oracle GoldenGate in 2008 end. So almost like you can consider 17 years of experience, 17 to 18 years of training experience I have so far. And I have trained more than 9,700 trainees and taken 290 plus corporate batches so far, and the feedback which I have received related to the training has been very good. I have various high rated courses available like Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture, Veridata, and then microservices. And then microservices course is now rebranded to 23i. So what you are attending right now is it's rebranding of microservices, which is Oracle GoldenGate 23. For those who have little knowledge or who are not aware what is about what is classic microservices or Veridata, that point will be answered to you by end of this session. Okay, so and let me tell you, I'm the first person globally who is conducting live instructor-led training on 23i. So all of you who are joining, you guys can consider yourself like the first time joinee as well, who are learning 23ai. So I have trained more than 9,700 plus trainees and taken 292 plus corporate batches so far. I'm Oracle certified professional and Oracle GoldenGate certified as well. I don't take certification as a like achievement, to be honest, because certification is easy to get, but I just have to let you know that I'm Oracle GoldenGate certified. Then I'm blogger and speaker at a lot of communities. You can reach out to me via email at ashishagarwalag@gmail.com, or you can tweet me your queries at ashishagarwalag, or you
ये
can
तो बीच में ही आया।
visit my YouTube
इज्जत
channel
करता है क्या?
at Ashish
जेब
Agarwal
किसको बोलते हैं पहले मुझे
underscore
बताओ।
GG, or
किसको
you
बोलते
can
हैं?
also visit my website, which I shared, which is at trancotech.com. So, guys, what I want you to do now is whatever we are doing, whatever we are doing, just keep your mobile away for next 2.5 hours, and I assure you, you will have very good session. Okay. Okay. So the training agenda of this training, we are going to discuss about, so complete agenda. I've just summarized it. It's not like only these topics we'll be covering much more than that, but this is just the summary which I'm mentioning in this training agenda. But what you see over here, our training agenda is completely different. Means not different, it includes a lot more things. You can visit my website as well for the complete details. However, like I'll be discussing, so we are in this training we are going to discuss about introduction to Oracle GoldenGate 23i, what are different architectures and components, how to install and deploy GoldenGate 23i, setting up GoldenGate Hub. Now many of you must have heard this terminology in recent days, like Oracle GoldenGate Hub. Now what is GoldenGate Hub? How do you set it up? We'll be discussing that as well in our training. Okay, then how to configure the capture process, how to set up distribution path, how to implement receiver service, how to configure the replicate process, how to manage the trail files, troubleshooting, performance tuning, understanding uh, parameters, performing initial load, data filtration and transformation. So GoldenGate has one of the capability of GoldenGate is performing the data filtration and transformation. So you can filter out the transactions or you can transform the data as per your requirement. So data filtration means, say for example, there are 100 transactions going on source and you want to replicate only particular 10 records. Is it possible? The answer is yes. You can filter out the transactions as per your requirement. Then you can also transform the data. So by transformation, we mean that on source, say for example, there are salary and commission column. On target, there is only one column, salary, and you want that combination of salary plus commission should be replicated to target. So you can transform the data as per your requirement. Then how to upgrade and migrate GoldenGate from one version to another, how to do it, how to upgrade GoldenGate from 19C to 23i, or how to upgrade your classic architecture to 23ai microservices. We'll be discussing about that. Then security features. This is very important. Now, a tool can give you 1,000 benefits, 10,000 benefits. However, if it cannot confirm if it cannot confirm the security, like data security, it's of no use. How to do performance tuning, then SSL deployment also will be introducing, and GoldenGate new features like vectors, data streams, uh, target initiated path. We'll discuss all on that. So this is just a summarized training agenda. What you see on your screen, we cover like more than that, and everything is covered like in uh, everything is covered practically during this training. Okay, so day one agenda. So today our training is for day one. So day one agenda. So in day one training, what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about overview and introduction to Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI. So what is 23i and introduction, we'll be discussing. Then different GoldenGate architecture, download of GoldenGate 23i, what are benefits of 23i, differences between 21c and 23ai GoldenGate, then how to download and install Oracle GoldenGate 23i. We'll be discussing about that in today's session. So this is day one agenda. Okay, so before we proceed, let me quickly give you introduction to GoldenGate. So basically, GoldenGate was founded in 1995. Okay. And it was named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. The same Golden Gate Bridge, which you can see in my, like I'm sharing my video. So you see the background. So it's that Golden Gate Bridge. So it is named after that. And in 2009, Oracle overtook it. And since then it is known as Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. Now, Golden Gate was named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. So it is a CDC tool. So Golden Gate is a CDC tool. So CDC stands for Change Data Capture. CDC stands for Change Data Capture. So what does Change Data Capture means is that whatever changes are happening in source, they will be captured. The data which is getting changed, it will be captured and it will be replicated to target. So GoldenGate is a CDC tool. Now there are other CDC tool available in the market, and why GoldenGate is preferred, we'll be discussing all of that subsequently. So it was founded in 1995 and named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. So the ultimate source for Golden Gate is database. So what happens is you have a database and then you have Golden Gate over here. Okay. And then you can replicate the data to either Golden Gate, or you can replicate the data to, like there are different, you can replicate data to database. These databases can be Oracle or non-Oracle. Okay. And then you can replicate this data not only to database, you can replicate it to big data using Kafka handlers, or you can replicate it to Snowflakes or any other big data tool. So there are different options available to replicate the data from GoldenGate to target. So source will always be database. Target will be either database or it could be your big data product. Okay. So GoldenGate has that capability. Okay. So again, this source database can again be Oracle or non-Oracle. So it could be homogeneous or heterogeneous as well. GoldenGate works in homogeneous as well as heterogeneous databases as well. So before we understand what GoldenGate is, how it works, let us quickly discuss about Oracle database architecture. So in this architecture, we are going to discuss about what is specific to Oracle GoldenGate. Okay, so we are not going to discuss about complete database architecture. Okay, so but we'll be discussing about Oracle, what is required for Oracle GoldenGate. Okay, so Oracle database architecture, it has two components. First is memory components, instance, so first is instance. So Oracle database architecture is divided into two parts. First is instance, and second is Oracle database file. Instance again is divided into two parts. SGA. SGA stands for System Global Area. And then you have memory components. Okay. So SGA contains components like library cache, data dictionary cache, database buffer cache, Java pool, redo log buffer, and large pool. So these are the different components which are available in, which are part of your SGA. There are others as well, but we are discussing few of these. We have mentioned few of these over there. Then you have few background processes like pmon, smon, database writer, log writer, checkpoint, and there are other background processes as well. Okay. So, and in Oracle database files, you have three types of files. Data files. So data files are the actual files which stores the data for you. So say for example, you're on your Toad or SQL developer or your SQL prompt. You type select star from department table. From where do you get that data from? You get that data from these data files. So the data is actually stored inside the data files. Okay, so data files contains the data. So the actual data gets stored inside the data files. Okay. Controls, and remember these data files contains committed transactions. Okay. Then you have control files. So control files are the critical files. They contains the metadata information. So metadata is data about data. So control files are again the critical files. If you lose your control files, your database won't start. So control files are the most important files in your database. And then you have redo log files. So redo log files basically contains the changes being made to the database object. So any insert, update, delete, or any DDL change. So basically any changes being done in the database in any form will be returned into the redo log file. It will be returned into the redo log files basically. So any changes, insert, update, delete, or any DDL transaction. So DML or DDL, whether it is committed or uncommitted, everything gets returned into these redo log files. And then once the data gets returned into these redo log files, so these redo log files are, the size of these redo log files is limited. So say for example, you have defined two redo log files in your database with 50 MB each. So total size of redo log files would be 100 MB, not more than that. So total size would be 100 MB, right? So once these 100 MB of data files get filled, so the backup of these files is taken on disk and it is called as archive log files. So in database, you have got backup of redo log files, which are taken on disk, and these are called as archive log files. So archive log files contains archive log files are the backup of redo log files. So these redo log files and archive log files are basically they basically contains the changed data. Whatever data changes have happened, those changes gets written into these files. And for GoldenGate or any change data capture tool, these are the files where the data gets captured from the file. So these files acts as the source for your change data. Okay. So GoldenGate basically reads these redo log files or archive log files to capture the changes. So what happens basically is, now the question comes, how does these redo log files or archive log files gets the data from? From where do they get the data from? So how it works, let me tell you. So what happens is, say for example, you have some data into the data files. Okay. Now, what you do, you type in your SQL developer or in your session, select update dpt11 set location equal to XYZ. Okay, you type that command. So basically, it would be an update statement in dpt11. So what happens is that change what you do, it gets written into your database buffer cache. Okay. Now, any dirty buffer, the copy of that dirty buffer gets written into the redo log buffer. So dirty buffer means the buffer which has got changed. Now, update is a change statement. So insert, update, delete. These are changes. So we call them as a dirty buffer. So any dirty buffer gets written into the redo log buffer as well. Okay. So when you do select, it will only be here in database buffer cache. However, when you make the buffer dirty, right? When you make the buffer dirty, in that case, the copy of that buffer gets written into the redo log. Now, there is a background process, log writer process. The log writer process helps in writing the data from redo log buffer to redo log files. Okay. This log writer process helps in writing the data from redo log buffer to redo log file. Now, log writer writes the data from redo log buffer to redo log files whenever under these conditions. Whenever there is commit, or when redo log buffer is 1/3 full, or when there is 1 MB of redo, or every 3 seconds, or before database writer process writes. Now, the question is, how does the database gets the data? These data files, how do they get the data written into the data file? So this buffer, whatever data was there, with help of database writer, it also gets written into the data file. However, before database writer process can writes the data to the data file, the data gets written into the redo log files. Okay. So these redo log files, once they get full, the data in these redo log file will be flushed to disk and they will be called as archive log files. So archive log files are backup of redo log file which contains the changes being made to the database. Okay, so whatever change, whether it is insert, update, or delete, all the changes will be returned into these files. So remember one thing, let me tell you, these redo log files, so there is a misconception I have heard. Many people or many DBAs think that redo log files contains committed as only committed transactions. However, your transaction log, so these redo logs or archive logs are also called as the transaction logs. So basically transaction logs of any database are the files where the changes are stored. So these redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are archive log files, contains both committed as well as uncommitted transactions. I again repeat, your redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are archive log files, contains both committed as well as uncommitted transactions. However, GoldenGate captures only committed transactions, which we'll be discussing going forward. Okay. So now you may have one question. If ultimately the data is getting written into the data files, what is the purpose of writing data to redo log files? Why are we writing data to redo log files? What is the purpose? So the purpose of writing the data to the redo log files is for redo purpose. Okay. I'll give you one example for it so that you better understand it. Okay. Now, you went to the bank, okay, to deposits. Currently, say for example, you have $5,000 in your bank account. Okay. Now you went to the bank to deposit $2,000 more. Okay. So the updated value after depositing should be 5,000 plus 2,000 equal to $7,000. So you went to the cashier, you deposited $2,000, right? Now the cashier access the front end application, right? So from the front end, she took your money and she deposited into the account. However, before that money could actually be returned into the data files, your database crashed. So basically, basically what happened is you gave money to the cashier. Cashier clicked the button or she accessed the application, front end application, and from that application it showed that it has been deposited. However, before it could be actually reflecting the data in the data files, it is your database crashed. So you come home thinking that your updated balance should be $7,000. However, to your astonishment, when you check, still it shows $5,000. Right? So being a customer, how would you feel if you lose your $2,000? You will feel like you have been cheated, and the bank will lose the goodwill, right? So to ensure that this kind of scenario doesn't happen, what happens is, that's why you have this redo log files. So what happens is, once the changes is made, changes are made, those copy of those changes are made are returned to the redo log files. Okay. Now redo log file have got those changes that the balance has to be updated to $7,000 for account number 1234. So now once the issue is resolved and database is is made to bring up, the the archive logs which are there will be applied to the database during the startup. And when they are applied during that time, the updated balance will become $7,000 so that you don't lose any money. So that is the purpose of redo log file. So the purpose of redo log files is to redo the data. The purpose of redo log files is to redo the transactions in your database so that you don't lose any data. Okay. Now for GoldenGate or any change data capture tool, the source is redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are called as archive log files. So GoldenGate captures the transaction by reading these log files. Okay. So this is about Oracle database architecture. So what is required related to GoldenGate? So for GoldenGate to work, at the database level, it has to be ensured that any change gets returned into these files. If the changes are not returned into these files, these transaction logs, in that case, there would be no capture done by GoldenGate, or GoldenGate won't be able to replicate the data. So for GoldenGate to replicate the data, the minimum requirement is the data should be returned in these transaction logs. If data is not returned into these transaction logs, then GoldenGate won't be able to capture the transaction. Okay? Okay. So now, what is GoldenGate 23ai and why learn it? So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai, the one-liner if I have to provide you, why learn it and what is GoldenGate 23? So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai is basically basically a GoldenGate integration with artificial intelligence. And I'll tell you one thing. Generally, what happens is any Oracle product, and this is I'm telling you as per my experience, and let me tell you guys, I don't want to work for Oracle. Some people think that I work for Oracle now. I don't work for Oracle at all. And these sessions I don't do for promoting GoldenGate as a product. The whole purpose is to ensure that you get the technical knowledge on Oracle GoldenGate. So uh, what I have understood, generally what happens is, and many of you or almost all of you would agree with me, that generally when a new version is launched for any product, it it basically speeds up, or organization try to trust it after almost 3-4 years. It takes that much time. However, to my astonishment, Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI has got traction already, and lot of organizations are currently using this product a lot. Like, I haven't seen any Oracle product to get that much popular with the new version so quickly and so early after the launch. But GoldenGate, many customers are using it nowadays. Maybe it could be due to the Oracle is promoting it. Maybe it's marketing, or maybe it is like I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. There are some discounts going on because GoldenGate is a separately licensed product, right? GoldenGate is a product which requires license. So to my means, I'm still trying to find ways why it has got so much traction. But yes, the thing is, it has a lot of improvement. It can replicate. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 ensures instant data availability. So this point, you may argue that, Ashish, what about 21C? What about 19C? They also claim the same. So the answer is yes. The whole purpose of GoldenGate is to ensure instant data availability to the target database. Then reduced downtime. So with GoldenGate, the product is getting so much advanced and so much reliable now. When I compare GoldenGate with like earlier version like 19C or 12C, there used to be not lot of issues, but there used to be issues and bugs. Bugs, I won't say, are not there in 23i, but yes, the product is now much more reliable and much more stable as well. It wasn't that much stable if I talk about 12c, or when I talk about 19c. It wasn't that much stable, but now from 23i onwards, the stability has gone top notch. Then improved analytics. So analytics, of course, analytics is really very important for any technology. So with Golden Gate, they have included a lot of new analytics, which with which you can make informed decision with up to date data as well. So see, 23 has a lot of new features and which are usable in your environment, and subsequently we'll be learning about it. And one of the major thing, like the basic thing, if I have to tell you, with Golden Gate 23 AI, it is uh, it is integration of artificial intelligence with Oracle GoldenGate. It's not generative AI as of today, but maybe in future Oracle may plan something like that. Okay. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI is the latest version of Oracle's data replication and integration solution. It is built on AI powered automation for better performance and resilience. It supports real-time data movement across heterogeneous environments. So this is the major point, if you ask me. So Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI or previous version were used for the latest for the same thing, Oracle data replication and integration solution. Previous version also used to support real-time data movement across heterogeneous environment. But yeah, 23i is built on AI-powered automation for better performance and resilience. It provides enhanced cloud-native support and intelligent data processing as well. So this is another thing you need to keep in mind. Okay. So guys, I'm talking about AI a lot, right? Now, let me tell you one thing, and this thing you can also try. Just talking about AI, moving a bit away from Golden Gate, but just to give you a bit knowledge on AI. This PPT, what you see right now on your screen, you won't believe this PPT has been prepared by AI. You can see the look and feel. How do you like this PPT? The PPT, what you see as a background or what you see as a text, what you see as a picture. How do you like it? Do you like that? Type in type your comment in the chat window if you like it. Right. So you won't believe this PPT is prepared by AI. And to be honest, like you can make it much more better. I didn't spend much time on it, to be honest, to prepare this PPT. And if I spend much more time, I could make it look much better than this. And do you want to know which tool I use to prepare this? Yes? Let me tell you. No. So the tool for it is Gamma. So the Gamma AI. So Gamma AI is the tool which which is used for AI PowerPoint creation. So you can start for free here. You can log in with your email, etc. Then you can create a new PPT, for example. You can create a new paste in text. So I have the text available. I use the uh, look and feel of the text format and the pictures. I use those things for generating the PPT, but the text is mine. Okay. However, if you want to do, you can generate it from a prompt as well, just like you use ChatGPT, right? You can generate it using AI as well. You can describe like what kind of PPT you want to do, or say for example, I need a PPT for my students for English content. So you can type something like this. It will generate the outline for you. And if you like it, then you can generate it as well. So you can add card, like add card means how many uh, PPTs, how many pages you need. You can put like visuals here, what kind of text you want, what kind of font you want to use. So this is really very interesting, and this is something which you would definitely like. And if you try to use it, you will definitely learn a lot. So basically, you should try to learn AI tools, new AI tools every day. There are different tools. So it's not like if I use Gamma for PPT generation, you have to use Gamma. It is one of the tools. There may be a lot of the other tools as well. Cost wise, they may differ. They may be cheap. They may be costly as well. It depends. But yeah, and some may require subscription, some may be free, and some may give you like few credits to work on. So it all depends on that. I won't comment on that, but yeah, the tool which you want to use, you should use. So I just wanted to show you the power of AI, how it can make your life easier. Now, many of people I have seen, and in fact, not to quote, but my wife herself says that with introduction of these AI tools, like our own intelligence goes on toss, right? So we don't use our mind. So what happens to that? So guys, I give one example to it. How many of you use Google Maps today? I believe each one of you, right? So when Google Maps was introduced, right? People means people had the people said that with this Google Maps, the cognitive intelligence is going to vanish. Like, even if you won't believe, like I may have traveled to my friend's house almost 200 times, but still when I go today, I put Google Maps. And if I go without Google Maps, I may not meet, I may not reach his house, because you are, I won't deny that with Google Maps or any technology we embrace, like we are dependent on it. But the thing is, if we use them diligently and intelligently, it's for our own purpose, right? It's for our own use only. So same thing applies to artificial intelligence. These tools, you have to embrace it. There is no other choice. Many people may think, we have seen, like, I'll tell you one more thing. One of my friend, she's a teacher. Okay, she teaches in school. So one of the complaint what she makes is, and in Canada, uh, schools provide iPad to the students. Okay, so they have iPad. So the teaching happens on iPad, not like in India, where, which is the correct way, I believe. Like, it should be pen and paper study, but in here, many schools uses iPads. So what she says is, like, she whenever she asks any question to students, and within few seconds, student reply by typing their answer in chat GPT. So I would say that is wrong. That is wrong. That's not correct. But if we use it properly, diligently, and ensuring we know the boundaries, basically, the tool or any technology is for use, is, it will definitely benefit us. So what I would say is, use these tools, use your own brain, of course, don't be completely dependent on them, but yes, you should know, and you should try to integrate them as much as possible in your real life. Okay. Okay, so you can try using this tool in your how you can try using this Gamma to prepare any PPT in your for you. It will prepare, it will generate with your AI. If you have some text, it will, you can use that as well. Okay. So moving back to our training for GoldenGate. I'll discuss more and more tools, what I know and what I feel like you may like it. I'll be telling those tools to for you. I'll be discussing those during our complete training course. Okay. Okay. So now, so Golden Oracle is basically trying to do that. So they are trying to introduce AI features to GoldenGate itself. Again, as I mentioned, it's not generative AI as of now, but yeah, in future maybe. Okay. So now different types of GoldenGate architecture. So there is a question, can GoldenGate replicate to NoSQL So guys, this question will be answered for you. Yeah, I think in today's session itself, we'll be discussing about that. Okay, now different types of GoldenGate architecture. Now, at the starting of this session, I told you that there are two types of architectures in GoldenGate. One is classic, second is microservices, and 23ai is on microservices architecture. So, what is classic? What is microservices? And then another product in GoldenGate family is very data. So, what are these? What are the differences between these products? Let us discuss about that. Okay, so there are two types of architectures in Oracle GoldenGate. One is classic and second is microservices architecture. So basically, GoldenGate, as I told you, GoldenGate was founded in 1995 and it was named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, now from 2000, let me open the. Okay. So basically, GoldenGate was founded in 1995 and it was named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. And in 2009, Oracle overtook it. And since then, it is known as Oracle Golden Gate. Now, until 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate. That was GGSCI. Many of you may have worked on GGSCI as well. Or if you have read about it, you must have read about GGSCI. So that GGSCI until 2017 was Golden Gate. There was only one way to configure. In 2017, Oracle renamed it to Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture. Okay. So in 2017, the existing architecture of Golden Gate, that is GGSCI based architecture, was renamed to Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture is command prompt GGSCI based architecture, which allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through command prompt GGSCI. And in 2017, they launched a new architecture of Golden Gate, which is called as microservices architecture, which allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through GUI as well. So microservices architecture is latest type of architecture whose one of the feature is GUI. Now, let me tell you, microservices architecture is not only about GUI, it also has command prompt as well. Okay, so microservices architecture is GUI based architecture and command prompt is also there. So now until Golden Gate version. So guys, whenever we discuss about version during the training, so Golden Gate version and database version are same. So if 12.2 Golden Gate is there, database 12.2 is also there. If 19C Golden Gate is there, 19C database is there. So Golden Gate and database versions go hand in hand. So don't get confused. If whenever I talk about version during this training, it means we are talking about Golden Gate version, not database version. Okay. So until Golden Gate 12.2, it was only classic architecture. Until Golden Gate 12.2, you had no option but to configure only classic architecture. From 12.3 onwards, microservices architecture was introduced. So from 12.3 to 21C, both classic and microservices architecture coexist. Okay, so you can pick and choose what type of architecture you want to implement, whether you want to implement classic architecture in your environment or whether you want to implement microservices architecture, you can pick and choose. Now from 21C, that 21C is the last version where classic architecture is available. From 23 AI onwards, it's only microservices architecture. Okay, so 23 AI does not support classic architecture at all. It only supports microservices architecture. Okay, so still, if you go out into the market, classic architecture presence is 78 to 80%. It is decreasing. I won't deny that it is not decreasing. It is decreasing. But the old figure, if I have to tell you, is 78 to 80%, approximately 3-4 months back. You can see on the right of my screen, bottom right of my screen, it also says made with Gamma, right? So, okay. So, classic architecture presence is 78 to 80%, and microservices is approximately 20 to 22%, I have to say, in current scenario. But Oracle is promoting its customers to use microservices, and also, so Oracle is promoting its customers to use microservices architecture a lot. And also, like with this 23 AI, as I told you, right, it is getting lot of traction currently. So 23 AI is getting lot of, like, organizations are, as I told you, I'm not sure why they are using it because it's a new product, but yes, it is getting traction. And I'm definitely sure, as per Oracle vision, by next end of next year, they want 40% of implementations on microservices architecture. So based on rate, it is growing. Yes, maybe by the end of next year, you should see it happening. Okay. Now there is one more product in GoldenGate family, which is called as Veridata. How many of you have heard about it? If yes, type in the chat window. So Veridata is another product in GoldenGate family which allows you to verify the data. So as the name suggests, Veridata stands for verifying the data, right? So it is used for finding the data discrepancies between two objects, and it can repair those discrepancies as well for you. Okay. So say for example, on source you have 10,000 records in a table. On target you have 9,000 records. So what Veridata can do for you is it can identify the discrepant records for you, and it can repair those discrepancies as well for you. So Veridata, say for example, on source you have 10,000 records in a table. On target you have 9,000 records. So what Veridata can do for you is it can identify those 1,000 tables discrepancies, and it can repair those discrepancies as well for you if required. That is the major advantage of this Veridata. So Veridata is nowadays getting pretty popular, and lot of organization just buy this very data for, because they are moving from on-prem to cloud. So to verify that their data is in sync upon migration. So that's why they are using Veridata a lot. So Veridata guys, let me tell you, it's a separately licensed product. It's not the same license. Veridata is a separate licensed product. So Oracle GoldenGate family, in today's world, we have to think. So Oracle GoldenGate family contains three things. Classic architecture. The latest version of classic architecture is 21C. Then you have microservices 23 AI, which is also called as Oracle GoldenGate 23 AI. Then you have Oracle GoldenGate Veridata 23C as well. This is the latest version. 23C is the latest version of Oracle GoldenGate Veridata. So Veridata has now launched a new feature. Just for your information, guys, I'm telling you, it has been introduced, I think, couple of days back only. This new feature in Veridata. So Veridata does a column by column check, right? So column by column check means is it's like if say for example source and target data count is same. Say for example data count is 1,000 rows. However, the columns are different between source and target column values. Veridata can do that check for you as well. However, it is because if it has to do column by column check, it may take some time. So that's why Oracle Golden Gate Veridata launched a new feature, which is fast row count feature. So fast row count is, it will check the count on source, row count on source, and row count on target, and will tell you what is the whether row count matches or not. So this is the first check it will do, fast row count. It won't do column by column check. It will just do select count of one from the table. Okay. Now you may ask one more thing, Ashish, if we can do from SQL prompt like select count, what is the purpose of using Veridata? See, the whole purpose is Veridata, you don't require your database to be down. Your database application can continue to run and connect. Golden Gate ensures that the data count are Golden Gate ensures that the application is not down, and it can be basically, it takes care of any in-flight rows. So what do we mean by in-flight is, say for example, your uh, you did a you started your Veridata job at 7:30 a.m. and it takes 5 minutes to complete by 7:35. However, in meanwhile at 7:31 a.m. you started a transaction. So before it could be replicated, that is in-flight row, right? So Golden Gate will ensure that that in-flight row is not counted during the replication, and it will ensure. So basically, I'll give you example, correct example for this. Sorry, I gave wrong example, I think. Let me tell you. So basically, suppose you have source. So just to let you know, in Veridata, you run a data sync jobs. Okay. So you have source, you have target. Okay. At 7:30 a.m., you have 100 records on source and 100 records on target. Right. Now, at 7:31 a.m., you inserted one row on source. So it will be 101 rows on source and 100 rows on target side. Right? It will be 101 rows on source and 100 rows on target side. Okay. So now at 7:31:01, you kicked off the Veridata job. Now this may take some time to replicate. So when Veridata job is executed, 101 rows are there on source and 100 rows are there on target. So what Veridata can ensure is, so this is called as in-flight row. The row which is in flight, which is not yet applied on the target side. So basically what Veridata ensures is these in-flight rows are not taken during the count, and it will ensure that you see the correct count without any downtime. That's the whole purpose. So more about Veridata, we discuss in Veridata training, or there are few webinars available on my YouTube channel. You can go through those as well. Okay. So now let us move forward. So Oracle GoldenGate family basically contains these three things: classic architecture, 21C, microservices 23ai, and Veridata 23C. Now, one of the another question which I face regularly from lot of people is, in today's world, right? In in today's world, basically what happens is, what is the Golden Gate future? If Golden Gate is being used, now what is the future of Oracle Golden Gate? So let me tell you the market share of Golden Gate first of all. That should give you the whole understanding. So it's not gold. I told you Golden Gate is a CDC tool, change data capture tool. So is it the only tool available in the market related to CDC? No. There are a lot of other competitors as well, like SharePlex, Attunity, or there is, so Kulik Replicate which was the earlier product, is now called as Activity. Then you have Fivetran, Amazon DMZ, right? So the Golden Gate share is staggering 95%. And Shareplex is not new, guys. Activity is not new. Fivetran is not new. All these are there for a long time. Still, the market share of Golden Gate is huge. It's 95% for Golden Gate, 2% for Shareplex, 1% for Activity, and then remaining you can consider as 2 or 3%. So you can see how much staggering market share is captured by Oracle. Not because one of the reason, if I have to tell you, is it's a Oracle product, and still at the database level, Oracle is still the market leader. So it helps. Second thing is it supports multiple databases, heterogeneous, homogeneous. It supports. Okay, ease of use is there. Then support wise, Oracle is much better than its contemporaries, right? So these make it a better choice. Okay. Another thing which makes Golden Gate or any change data capture tool most seeking is, see, there are two terminologies which are used, RPO and RTO. RPO stands for recovery point of object, and RPO and RTO. And RTO stands for recovery time of object. Okay. So what does this mean? So basically, in case of any failure, right? In case of any failure, till what point recovery will happen, that is RPO. Recovery point of failure means till what point data can be recovered in case of failure. And RTO is recovery time of failure. So how much time the recovery will take. So the tool which has minimum RTO, maximum RPO will win. So Golden Gate scores above its competitors in both these aspects, RPO and RPO. So in case of any disaster or any data failure, the recovery point of Golden Gate outscores above its competitors. Then within minimal amount of time, it can perform the recovery. So that's why Golden Gate is most sought after tool. Still, like, it's almost, if Oracle, if we take about timeline, since Oracle has overtaken it, it's 2009 and today is 2005, 16, 17 years it is there. It is the market leader. Shareplex is much before than that. Shareplex, I know people used to use in 2003 as well. So you can still understand why, how much Golden Gate, where does Golden Gate stands for. So now the next question is, uh, what do you see about Golden Gate? What is the future of Golden Gate? See, if I have to ask, if I have to tell you, I cannot talk about 10 years, but yes, if I have to talk about 5 to 7 years, if I have to talk about 5 to 7 years, Golden Gate is one of the 5 to 7 years plan. Golden Gate is definitely here to stay. With the best part with Golden Gate is, I'll tell you, you can see, means if I have to talk something, something like differently. So Oracle, when they launched OCI, they had the huge, they were like looking OCI as a big money chunking or money churning product for them. And you won't believe, OCI is considered as a big disaster for Oracle. Oracle means customers didn't buy Oracle as much as they thought it could do. Okay. So OCI didn't do much well for them. OCI is a big failure for them, for Oracle, if I have to answer it in one single word. Now, Golden Gate is the most sought after product for them. Golden Gate is Golden Gate for Oracle is basically a money churning product for them. Most of the revenue for Oracle right now is from Golden Gate. And that's why you can see whatever changes they have to do, they embrace it immediately. You can see that microservices in 2070s was introduced keeping future in mind. Because see, ultimately, the product has to change and it has to change according to the changing environment, right? If they don't embrace the change, we all know what happened with Nokia. We all know what happened with BlackBerry. BlackBerry is now bankrupt. Nokia, we don't know what has happened. In fact, I don't know. And in 2007, 8, 9, 10, everyone used to hold Nokia's phone at that particular moment, right? They used to flaunt. But now Nokia is no longer to be seen. The reason is they didn't accept the change. So same thing, in fact, applies to us as well. For me, you, or anyone, IT, or anyone skilled person. See, we have to upgrade our skill ourselves as well. Okay. People ask me, like, being a DBA, how hard it is to get the job. You won't believe, in 2020, I used to get almost 500 to 1000 messages, emails, chats, direct messages every day, LinkedIn messages, that what happens to DBA jobs after introduction of cloud. At that moment, my answer was same, and today also my answer is same. You have to keep upskilling yourself. See, organization. If you talk with people who used to work in database 9i or 10G, and who are working in 23ai or 19C or 21C, you can see that lot of things are automated. So see, the demand, what you used to do, or the work which you used to do, may not be relevant in future. You will have to upgrade yourself. So as long as you can keep upskilling yourself, and understand one more thing, you have to be in top 70%. Last 30% are the ones who are fired or who are replaced. But if you are in top 70%, and if you can show your worth to your organization, you will never be in danger. See, you have to consider yourself. Like, if you have to pay, if you're paying your house help, if you have two house helps today, and tomorrow if you have to decide based on the based on, like, you have to fire one of your house help, who would you fire out of the two? Your decision may be dependent on multiple factors, but first factor would be performance and second factor would be money, right? And in both of these aspects, I think the top priority for 70% or 80% of people will take performance. Same thing applies to organization as well. So if you can keep upskilling yourself, if you can show more worth and what you are doing, so you will be good. So in today's world, like being a DBA, you have to learn new technologies, be it GoldenGate, be it Ansible, be it automation, be it cloud. You have to keep upskilling yourself regularly. That will help you. Another thing is, like, talking about GoldenGate future. So GoldenGate future, if I have to talk about based on my discussion with Oracle and based on, because I talk to a lot of people, because I eat, sleep GoldenGate, right? So Oracle is or what Oracle is doing with GoldenGate is it is launching more and more new features, and subsequently going forward, you will see a lot of new improvements. So at least for next 5 to 7 years, yes, I don't see, or Oracle don't see any competitors or it being replaced. And as long as the way Oracle is working on this, like generating, keep upgrading the product as per the market demand, as I see. So it is going to be there as per my experience. Not only I'm not going with Oracle's world, because see, keeping Oracle GoldenGate afloat is important for me as well, because I work on one technology only. So if tomorrow GoldenGate is no longer there, uh, I'm means what I work on will also, I definitely upskill myself regularly. It's not only GoldenGate which I learn. I learn a lot of new things, but yes, I myself would be in danger. So basically, I'm pretty much sure that for next 5 to 7 years, yes, this product is going to be there. And Oracle is regularly upgrading the product. They're launching new features. So I would say, don't worry. I cannot predict more than that because you never know which new product comes within after 5 to 7 years. But yeah, at least for next 5 to 7 years, I can say and take my word, it is not going to go there. And you are going to, like in today's world, if you have, say, for example, if you have knowledge only on database and if you add GoldenGate to your resume, it makes like it basically adds lot of value to your resume and you earn almost as per indeed.com. Oracle DBA and Oracle if you add GoldenGate to your resume, you will earn almost 30% extra what contemporary DBA with same experience would earn. So that's what I wanted to tell you. So these were the questions which were raised to me in the chat or which were asked, so that I thought, let me answer it for you. Okay, so now let us move. So in GoldenGate, there are two types of architectures. One is classic, second is microservices, and then there is one more product in GoldenGate family, which is called as Oracle GoldenGate Veridata. So Oracle GoldenGate family basically contains these three things: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. Oracle GoldenGate family includes these three products: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. And the latest version of all three versions are classic architecture is on 21C, microservices latest version is 23ai, and Veridata latest version is 23C. Classic architecture 21C is the last version. There would be no more version of classic architecture going forward. Okay. Okay. So now let us move forward. So now one more thing. Many of you, after learning about this classic architecture and microservices, some of you they may have this question. What happens to integrated now? Does integrated no longer exist? If any of you have that question, raise your hand or type in the chat window. So with the introduction of this classic, does integrated no longer exist? Okay. Guys, any question being asked related to Veridata? I see there is a question related to Veridata being asked. So either you can send a WhatsApp message. This is for 23AI. So I don't want to go into discussion about Veridata right now. Veridata basically is a separate session. I'll do some session means my session will be happening for it as well. Or you can watch the video on my YouTube channel. It's available over there as well. Okay. So now, uh, so Sunil has replied yes. So with the introduction of classic architecture, does integrated no longer exist? So with the introduction of this microservices, does integrated no longer exist? So let me answer that. So guys, in GoldenGate, there are two different things. One is architecture. Second is different types of extracts and replicates. So in GoldenGate, if which we'll be discussing next, the architecture in GoldenGate, what happens is the extract process captures the data and the replicate process applies the data to the target database. Okay, so extract process does the extraction part and replicate process does the applying part. So there are different types of extracts and replicates in GoldenGate. So initially when GoldenGate was there was only one type of extract and one type of replicate, which we used to call it as extract and replicate. However, as GoldenGate grew and GoldenGate improved its presence, so the existing type of extract was called as a classic extract. So basically, you can consider the term classic as legacy. Just like in architecture, there was only one architecture, it was GoldenGate. But when new architecture was introduced, classic architecture was the existing architecture was renamed to the classic architecture. Right. Same way, there was only one type of replicate, one type of extract and one type of replicate. So when it was there, they were called as extract and replicate. Then when the new extract and replicates were launched, they were called as classic extract and classic replicate. So basically those means legacy extract and legacy replicate. So why the confusion comes is Oracle renamed the architecture as classic and existing extract and replicates as well classic. That's why this confusion comes. But remember, classic means legacy. And then they launched a new type of extract, which is integrated extract. So integrated extract was introduced in GoldenGate version 11.204 and database version 11.203. So for configuring integrated extract, the minimum GoldenGate version has to be 11.204 and minimum database version has to be 11.203. Then different types of replicates in Oracle GoldenGate environment are non-integrated or classic replicate, integrated replicate. So integrated replicate GoldenGate version is 12.1 and database version is 12c. Then coordinated replicate was introduced in 12.2. And parallel replicate was introduced or is introduced, I should not say was, it is introduced in GoldenGate version 12.3. So parallel replicate is of two types, parallel non-integrated replicate and parallel integrated replicate. So first type of replicate is classic or non-integrated replicate. Second type of replicate is integrated replicate. Now,
Hello,
parallel,
Ashish. Sorry to
so
interrupt
it
you.
is non-parallel, non-integrated replicate and non-parallel integrated replicate. Now,
Hello, Ashish.
GoldenGate
Sorry to
launched,
interrupt you.
so integrated replicate running in parallel
Hello.
mode is called as parallel integrated replicate. Integrated replicate
Hello,
running in
Ashish.
parallel mode is called as parallel integrated replicate. And non-integrated replicate running in parallel mode is called as parallel non-integrated replicate. Okay. And coordinated replicate was introduced in 12.2. And to be honest, I myself haven't used it. But coordinated replicate was introduced in 12.2 to improve the performance of non-integrated replicate by running multiple threads of that particular replicate. But coordinated replicate is not much used, if I have to tell you. Major type of replicate which are used in current scenario is either non-integrated, integrated, or parallel replicate. The performance of parallel replicate is much faster or much better in terms of in comparison to its contemporary replicate. So if we talk about a parallel non-integrated replicate, performance is almost 5 times faster than non-integrated replicate. Same way, parallel integrated replicate performance is 5 times faster than integrated non-parallel integrated replicate. So parallel replicate is the latest type of replicate and it is used for the performance aspect for improving the performance in your Oracle GoldenGate environment. Now, what are different types of extract? What are different types of replicates? How to implement them? We'll be discussing them subsequently as the session moves on. So we'll be implementing a lot of things parallelly as the session goes on. Okay. So now let us discuss about Oracle GoldenGate architecture. Now it is very important. So far we have done introduction overview of GoldenGate. Okay. Now it is very important for us to understand how the architecture of GoldenGate is followed. So guys, if you have any question, type in the chat window or raise your hand. While I'm speaking, please let me speak because there are other students as well. So let me speak. And if you have any question, type in the chat window or raise your hand. I'll give you a chance to ask. And if you have an urgent question, type in the chat window. Okay. Now, Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture. So Oracle GoldenGate Classic Architecture is there since beginning. Okay. Now, how does classic architectures look? Classic architecture looks like. So you have a source database and a target database. So source database can be any Oracle or non-Oracle supported database. Okay. Now, what you do is you configure GoldenGate extract. So guys, one thing is the capture process and extract process are the terms which are introduced interchangeably. So capture process is also called as extract process. Same way, the apply or delivery is also called as the replicate process. Apply or delivery is also called as the replicate process. So as the session goes on, you may see we are talking about capture or extract, they mean same. Same way, you may also hear me stating about delivery or replicate. That also means same. So the you have source database and target database. So source database can be any Oracle or any non-Oracle supported database. Okay. Now you configure GoldenGate extract process, which reads the data from your transaction logs. Once it is read, it writes it to the local trail file on the local machine. So these local trail files, so guys, I'm talking about classic architecture so that you understand the difference between classic and microservices. That's why. So after that, I'll move to microservices, which is used in 23 AI as well. Okay. So the extract process writes the data to the local trail file. So extract process basically reads the data from the transaction logs and captures only the committed transactions. So the extract process reads the data from the transaction logs. So as I told you, the transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions, right? But GoldenGate extract process captures only the committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured, it writes them to the trail file on local machine, which are called as local trail files. Once the data is available onto the local trail file. So guys, remember these local trail files are binary format files and they reside on the operating system, just like your archive log files are there at the database level, right? The format of these trail files is also binary format files, and the data in these trail files is returned to by the GoldenGate extract, or we also call it as a capture process. Okay, so the extract process reads the transaction logs and capture only the committed transactions. Once the transactions are committed, it writes them to the trail file on local machine, which are called as local trail files. Once the data is returned into the local trail file, the data pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes it to remote trail file on target. So this remote trail file is also a binary format file, and it resides on the operating system on the target side. Once the data is returned into the remote trail file, the GoldenGate replicate process. So as I told you, delivery process is also called as the replicate process. So once the data is returned into the remote trail, GoldenGate replicate process reads the data out of your remote trail and apply it to the target database. So extract process extracts the data right to local trail. Pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes it to remote trail. And then the replicate process applies the data to the target database. GoldenGate also supports bidirectional environment. Okay, in bidirectional, what happens is both you have to consider bidirectional as nothing but two-way unidirectional with some consideration. So in bidirectional, what happens is the other side would be live as well, and whatever transactions are happening on site 2, it will be replicated to site 1 as well. So you will have now extract process configured on site 2, writing data to local trail on site 2. Then the data pump process running on site 2 will read the data from local trail, send it over TCP/IP network and writes it to remote trail. Once the data is available into remote trail, the replicate process configured on site 1 will apply it to the database. So this is how your bidirectional is configured. Okay, so one of the major advantage with GoldenGate is it supports bidirectional configuration as well. Now, one quick thing which I wanted to mention earlier was many people think that when I talked about market share of CDC tool, many people think that DataGuard is also competitor of GoldenGate. Do you think it's a competitor of GoldenGate? So the answer to this question is I didn't mention DataGuard, right? So I'm happy, like very good guys. Most of, and that's why I see that you didn't ask question. That is very good, and I'm very happy. Men, all of you, not almost all of you have answered. Almost 10 replies I have received. All of you have answered as no. That you don't think Golden Data Guard is competitor of Golden Gate. That is absolutely correct. And I believe that's why this question wasn't raised as well. That data guard is not a competitor of GoldenGate. Basically, you can compare apple to apple, but you cannot compare apple and oranges, right? So this is what happens here. So if data guard is apple, GoldenGate is orange. So though prima facie they both may seem same to you, but that's not correct. The purpose of GoldenGate and data guard is completely different. And of course, one of the major reason what I say is data guard is free, GoldenGate is chargeable. So GoldenGate license cost a lot. So there has to be a difference, and there are differences. Now, what are the differences between data guard and GoldenGate? I did one webinar few months back. You can find that on my YouTube channel as well. Comparison between data guard and GoldenGate. Do watch it if you haven't watched it. And I'll in the description I'll also mention the link for that. Okay. So so but I'm very happy, guys, and this is first time it must be happening in my sessions after doing it for last 15 or 16 years that you guys have, like, not by you, I mean the attendees have answered that data guard is not competitor of Oracle GoldenGate, which is correct. Okay. So now, so one of the major difference between GoldenGate and data guard is GoldenGate is not supported in GoldenGate is supported in bidirectional, data guard is not supported in bidirectional. Then GoldenGate is basically supported for heterogeneous databases as well, which data guard cannot do. And GoldenGate can run on different platforms. Your source can be different platform, target can be different platform. GoldenGate can replicate the data. And how is this possible? Using these trail files. The trail files, what you see, are platform independent. So the format of trail files, whether you generate them on Linux, whether you generate them on Windows, whether you generate them on Sun SolarEdge, whether you generate them on HP UX or any platform, the format of these files is always same. The format of these files is always same. Okay. So now let us discuss about Oracle GoldenGate 23ai architectural overview. So Oracle GoldenGate 23ai is composed of capture, trail files and apply process. It supports microservices architecture. Oh, I should not have mentioned it supports microservices architecture and traditional architecture. Guys, this line is wrong. I'll correct it. I don't know why have I mentioned it. So it supports only microservices architecture. Okay. It is AI powered automated tuning for optimal replication performance. It is integrated with Oracle Database 23C and 23ai and Autonomous Database for Cloud Native Replication. So GoldenGate 23i also supports Oracle Database 23i, 23C versions as well. So Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture, how it looks like. So Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture is a REST API based architecture which enable us to configure, monitor and manage Oracle GoldenGate services using web GUI. Oracle GoldenGate 12c R3 introduces the concept of microservices architecture. In August 2017, Oracle released two architectures which are classic and microservices architecture. So Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture has these components. You have service manager. Under service manager, you have got four different services which runs: administration server, distribution server, performance metric server, and receiver server. So these are the different. So microservices is basically different services which runs in the architecture. So to manage all the services, you have got service manager. As the name suggests, it manages the services. Now, under service manager, you have got administration server, distribution server, performance metric server, and receiver server. Okay. So if I go back to classic architecture, so in classic architecture, you have got this data pump process. And on target, there is one background process which you don't see here, but there is one background process also running over here, which is also called as the collector process. Okay, so how it works is the data pump process of source establishes connectivity with receiver server on target, and once the connectivity is established, it is able to send the data. So data pump process on source establishes connectivity with target receiver server, and once the connectivity is established, data pump is able to send the data on target. Now, and collector is a background process here, which runs over here. Just before remote trail, it runs over here. It runs on that. So as the name suggests, collector process collects the data which is being sent over TCP/IP network. Now, in microservices architecture, what happens is your your data pump has been replaced with the distribution server. Your data pump is no longer there. Your data pump is no longer there. Data pump has been replaced with distribution server. Okay, so what data pump used to do, now distribution server does that task. Same way, you don't have collector process anymore in the classic architecture. Collector process has been replaced with receiver server. So that now what happens is the distribution server of source establishes connectivity with target receiver server, and it is able to send the data. So what happens is, and under administration server, so distribution server does the data transfer, receiver server basically receives the changes. Under administration server, you do all the task of configuring the extract replicate, starting, stopping the process, purging the trail files, and doing the other tasks for you. Okay, so under administration server, you do all this task. And one more thing, okay, that is very good point Venkat just raised. So guys, when when I talked about these three products, right? Now, initially when microservices was launched, microservices was available only for Oracle database. However, from 21c onwards, microservices support has also been introduced for heterogeneous databases. So now microservices architecture is supported for Postgres, DB2, SQL Server, MySQL, and in fact, big data as well. So 23i also does the same. So 21c and 23ai supports heterogeneous databases as well now. Okay, so let us now see microservices architecture. So this is the microservices architecture, how it looks like and how it works. Okay, so in microservices architecture now, what you have is you have basically a service manager. So this you see, you have source and target. On both source and target, you have got the service manager which is running. Okay. Now service manager, so we are doing the local installation and GoldenGate is running on both the sides. Okay, so Oracle GoldenGate architecture basically looks like this. You have a source database and a target database. So basically source server and target server you see here. So you have a service manager running on both the sides, site 1 and site 2 both. Okay. So what you are doing over here is under service manager on site 1, you have an administration server, distribution server, and performance matrix server. So under administration server over here, you configure GoldenGate extract process, which writes the data to the local trail file. Once the data is returned into the local trail file, the distribution server running into on this server will reads the data from the will read the data from local trail file, send it over TCP/IP network, where receiver server will receive it and writes it to the remote trail file. Once the data is available into remote trail file, the replicate process will read the data from remote trail file and apply it to the target database. So you see this extract process or replicate process, they are configured under the administration server. So you configure these processes under the administration server. So once we do the setup, once we do the what should I say this practical implementation installation, you will see that you can find this admin server, distribution server, receiver server. Performance matrix server is also the latest addition in Oracle GoldenGate microservices architecture. It is also available in classic architecture, but it is different in microservices. It gives you the real-time performance metrics, and it has improved in 23 AI a lot. Okay, you have in 23i like target initiated paths under receiver server. You can create, you have vectors, you can create different data streams. There are a lot of new features which are there in 23i. So under administration server on source, you configure GoldenGate extract process, which writes the data to the local trail. Distribution server reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes it with help of receiver server. It writes to the remote trail on target, and once the data is returned into remote trail, the replicate process will apply the data to the target database. This is how your overall architecture looks like.